You are trying to fall asleep. And then there is that one big question that just won't leave you alone. It sits there in your mind, taking up space. Do they feel this too? Or am I just making it all up? Before we dive deep into today's topic, I want to ask you for a small favor that would mean the world to me. If you are finding value in this content, if these insights are helping you understand yourself and your connections better, please consider subscribing to this channel. I am working hard to reach 10,000 subscribers, and your support makes all the difference. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss content that could transform how you see relationships and human connection. Your subscription doesn't just help me grow, it helps me create more content like this that can help thousands of others who are navigating the same confusing waters of attraction and connection. Prolonged eye contact. Now, let's get into something that I know has been on your mind. That feeling of uncertainty about whether someone feels the same way you do can be so confusing. It is one of the most unsettling things we go through as people, because you can feel something so strongly in your own body, something that feels so real and true, but you still have no idea if the other person is feeling it at all. This is the exact spot where so many good things never get started. I know this because I have spent a lot of time talking to people I have helped over the years. They often look back and say, "I can see it now. It was right there in front of me and I just didn't see it." It makes it even harder when most of the advice you find tells you to just look for one single sign, like a green light at a traffic stop. You go out looking for that one specific thing, and you either trick yourself into seeing it when it isn't there, or you miss all the real, beautiful signals because nobody ever showed you what they actually look like in real life. Today, we are going to change that completely. Real attraction, the kind that goes both ways, is something that happens in your body before your brain even knows what is going on. It moves through a conversation in a very special way, and genuine smiles around you leaves a clear path behind it. Once you know how to see that path, you can stop doubting yourself and start seeing what is really happening right in front of you. I want to share 15 signs with you that show the feeling is mutual, even if neither of you has said a single word about it yet. But before we jump into the list, there is a very important thing we need to talk about. If you skip this part, the 15 signs might not make sense at all. Mutual attraction, where both people feel the spark, is not just one single look or one single move. It is a pattern. Think of it like a dance where both people are moving to the same music. It is a bunch of small things that happen over and over again from both sides. You aren't looking for one big proof in a quick glance or a single text message. Instead, you are looking for a back and forth rhythm. One-sided attraction can look like a lot of things if you only look at one moment. A nice laugh or a long look can sometimes just be someone being polite or having good social skills. They might just be a very kind person. But what being polite cannot do is create a pattern that keeps itself going from both sides without anyone even trying to do it. That is what real mutual attraction looks like. It is a natural flow. And that is what conversations never feel forced you are going to learn how to read today. The first sign to watch for is when both of you keep finding reasons not to say goodbye. Think about those times when a talk should have ended 10 minutes ago. Maybe you both have things to do or places to be. You both know it, but neither of you wants to be the one to walk away. One person says a little something, and then the other person answers. A new topic pops up, and somehow you are still standing there, still talking, and still finding just one more thing to share. Pay close attention to who is starting these extra moments. If it is only you, if you are the one always digging for something new to say to keep them there, that is not mutual. That is you trying to hold on to something by yourself. But when it is both of you, when both of you are saying, "Oh, wait, one more thing," and neither of you is moving toward the door, that is two people who simply do not want the connection to end. Your body knows when it feels good to be near someone, and it doesn't lie. This lingering quality is one of the most honest signals because it requires effort from both sides. Neither person wants to break the spell of the moment you are sharing together. The second thing to notice is when you start moving in the same way without even noticing. They find reasons to be near you. They put their drink down, and about 30 seconds later, you do the same thing. You lean back in your chair, and they lean back too. You lean in to whisper something, and they lean in to meet you. You might even notice that your voices start to sound a bit more alike in how loud or soft they are. Experts who study how we communicate without words have found some amazing things about this. They have found that when two people really feel a pull toward each other, their bodies start to match each other's moves, without them even thinking about it. The way they talk, how they stand, and the way they move their hands all start to line up. This is hard to fake. If you try to do it on purpose, it usually looks a bit weird or forced. But when it is real, it is smooth. It is just two people's bodies saying they want to be in the same space. When you see this happening from both sides, you are watching attraction happen right there in the moment. This mirroring is your nervous system trying to create harmony and connection with another person. The third sign involves a special rhythm to how you look at each other. A lot of people think the sign is just staring into someone's eyes for a long time. But just staring can feel a bit too intense or even scary. What you are actually looking for is something mirroring body language, much softer and more telling. When it goes both ways, eye contact has a beat to it. They hold your gaze, you hold theirs. Then one of you looks away for a second and comes right back. And then the other person does it too. It is like a whole other conversation is happening under the words you are saying. Our brains actually release a happy bonding chemical when we look into the eyes of someone we like. When the feeling is mutual, both people keep looking back because their brains are giving them a little reward for doing it. If it is only one-sided, one person will look, but the other person will look away and stay away. The rhythm is missing because only one person is looking for that connection. You will feel that rhythm, or the lack of it, before you can even put a name to it. This dance of the eyes is ancient and primal, connecting us to the deepest parts of human bonding. Another powerful sign is when they remember the small things you said and bring them up later. Maybe you mentioned a tiny detail in passing, something that didn't seem important at the time. Then, a few days later, or in another talk, they bring it back. They might ask, "Didn't you say you live near that park?" Or, "How did that thing go with your family?" This isn't just someone being polite. It is a sign that they were really listening. When we are attracted to someone, our quick responses to messages brains treat their words differently. We don't just hear them, we save them in a special place. Experts say that the feeling of being truly seen and heard, of someone caring enough to remember what we said, is one of the strongest ways we bond. But for this to be a sign of mutual attraction, it has to go both ways. If they remember your details, but you can't remember anything they told you, or the other way around, then it isn't a match. Mutual attraction makes both people want to pay attention. Both people remember because both brains have decided that this person is important. Memory is selective, and we remember what matters to us. The fifth thing to notice is when silences do not feel awkward or weird. Usually when there is a quiet moment between two people who don't have a connection, it feels uncomfortable. You both feel like you have to scramble to find something, anything to say just to fill the air. But something very different happens when the attraction is mutual. The quiet moments, even short ones, feel easy and comfortable. It feels like you don't have to put on a show or perform for each other every single second. This is a big deal. Being able to be quiet together means you both feel safe. Your bodies aren't on high. Frequent playful teasing alert. They are relaxed. So if you're both okay just sitting in the silence and nobody is rushing to make noise, that is a sign of two people whose bodies are saying, I don't need to try too hard here. I just like being near you. That feeling of being at ease is rare in the beginning unless something real is starting to grow. Comfortable silence is actually a sign of deep comfort and emerging intimacy. Watch for when they find little reasons to be closer to you. They don't usually do anything big or dramatic, like running across a room to stand by you. It is much more quiet than that. They might just shift their chair a little closer while you are talking, or lean in to hear you better, even if the room isn't loud. They might hand you something directly instead of putting it on the table. Maybe in a big group, you notice they always end up standing near you when they could be anywhere else. Wanting to be close is a very basic human instinct. When we like someone, when it is mutual, both people are doing this without even thinking about it. You just keep gravitating toward each other like magnets. Pay attention to who is doing the moving. If you are always the one moving closer, that is just one direction. But if you notice they are ending up near you too, even when you, remembering small details, didn't move first, then it is on purpose, even if it looks like an accident. Physical proximity is one of the most reliable indicators of attraction because our bodies want to be near what we desire. Another beautiful sign is when there is a kind of playful teasing that feels warm. This is the kind of light-hearted poking fun that makes you feel like the person really sees you rather than making you feel bad. This shows two things: that they are comfortable with you and that they are paying attention. You don't bother teasing someone you don't care about. It takes effort to notice the little funny things about someone. Teasing is a way of being close while keeping things fun and light. When the attraction is mutual, this teasing goes back and forth. It doesn't hurt. It just makes you feel like the other person has been watching you closely and likes what they see. You find yourself doing it back to them, and it feels easy. You aren't worried about how they will take it because the warmth is already there. It is like saying, I see you. I feel safe enough to play with you, and I want you to know I'm paying attention. This playful banter creates a private world that only the two of you share. Notice when you both seem to become the best versions of yourselves. Have you noticed nervousness around each other, that you feel funnier when they are around? Or maybe you find it easier to tell a good story. You might laugh more freely or feel more confident. And when you look at them, you see it in them too. They seem a bit brighter, more there, and more like themselves, but turned up a little bit. This isn't just in your head. People who study how we feel when we are attracted to someone have found that our sense of who we are actually grows when we are around someone we like. We feel more capable and more alive. When the feeling is mutual, both people feel this at the same time. You are both blooming because the other person makes it feel safe to show who you really are. If you both seem to come alive around each other in a way that doesn't happen with other people, that is your bodies telling you that something special is happening. This mutual elevation is a sign that you bring out the best in each other. Pay attention to when their body points toward you, even when they are talking to someone else. This is a sign that many people miss, but it is very reliable. Imagine you are in a group of people. They might be talking to someone on the other side of the circle, but their feet, their chest, and their shoulders are all turned toward you. Isn't a big obvious move, but you are the center of their world in that moment, even if they aren't speaking to active listening you. Our bodies naturally point toward the things and people we care about the most. It happens without us even knowing we are doing it. That is why it is such an honest sign. If their body is always facing your way, whether you are across the room or in the middle of a group chat, it isn't just a coincidence. It is attraction leaving a little trail of clues for you to follow. Body orientation is one of the most unconscious and therefore most honest signals we give. Listen for something different about the way they say your name. This might sound almost too small to matter, but listen closely. When someone is really into you, they use your name differently. They might use it more often than they really need to. They might say it at the start of a sentence just to get your attention. There is often a tiny, almost hidden pause before or after they say it. Like, your name has a special weight or feeling in their mouth. Saying someone's name is a way of saying, I see you specifically, not just the person I am talking to. When both people are attracted to each other, they both tend to use each other's names more than usual. Think back to your last talk. Did they say your name more than once? Did you do the same? If the answer is yes, prioritizing time together for both of you, that is a real sign of connection. Our names carry our identity, and when someone uses yours with care and attention, it shows they value who you are. Watch for when you both get a little bit nervous and a little bit calm at the same time. I call this nervous calm, and it is one of the most accurate signs you will ever find. When attraction is only on one side, the person who feels it is just nervous. They feel jumpy and maybe a bit strained because they are doing all the work and getting nothing back to steady them. But when the attraction is mutual, something very cool happens. You still have those butterflies because something important is happening. But underneath the nerves, you feel a sense of peace. Your breathing might slow down, your voice might get a little deeper, and your shoulders relax. The other person's presence actually helps calm your body down even while it gets you excited. It is like a mix of energy and ease. The talk doesn't feel like hard work. It feels like it is just carrying itself along. When you both feel that mix of being a little bit nervous, but also totally at home, that is a huge sign of mutual attraction. This paradoxical, strong emotional connection state happens because your nervous system recognizes both the excitement of something new and the safety of genuine connection. Notice when they reach out to you without you asking or prompting them. Maybe you talked a couple of days ago and there was nothing left to settle, but then, out of nowhere, you get a message. Maybe it is a funny picture, a song they thought you would like, or a note about something you mentioned before. They sent it for no reason other than they were thinking about you. This kind of contact is a very clear signal because it takes real effort and interest. You don't reach out to people you don't care about for no reason. You do it because they are stuck in your head and your brain is looking for a way to connect again. But remember, for it to be mutual, it has to go both ways. If you are always the one sending the first text and they just answer nicely, that is not mutual. Mutual attraction means both people are making the effort to stay in touch. Initiating contact requires vulnerability and shows that someone is willing to risk rejection to maintain connection with you. Pay attention when they talk about the future with you in it. They might say things like, "We should go to that subtle jealousy signals restaurant sometime." Or, "You would love that movie. We should check it out." These are small, quick sentences, but they mean a lot. When someone talks about a future that includes you, even in a casual way, they are showing you what their brain is already doing. They are already imagining you in their life later on. They are placing you in their future world. And when you find yourself saying the same kinds of things back to them, it means both of your brains are already building something together. You aren't doing it on purpose to be sneaky. It just happens automatically when your mind decides that someone really matters to you. Future-oriented language reveals that someone sees you as part of their ongoing story, not just a chapter that will close soon. Notice when there is a special kind of energy when you are in the same room with other people. When you put both of you in a big group, a new kind of signal shows up. You know exactly where they are in the room without even looking. You might catch each other's eyes across a crowded space when something funny happens, sharing a private joke without saying a word. If they say something in the group, you, constant curiosity about you, find yourself listening more closely to them than to anyone else. And you can see that they notice when you react. This is a very deep kind of awareness. It is like a secret channel running between the two of you under everything else that is happening. This is very hard to fake when there are other people around, because you have so many other things to focus on. The signals that come out in a group are the most honest ones, because your body is sending them out automatically. This awareness in crowded spaces shows that your attention system has prioritized this person above all others. Finally, watch for when something shifts right before you part ways. The goodbye takes a little bit longer than it usually would. There is a moment right at the end where the energy feels more serious or intentional. The talk slows down just before it is over. Maybe there is a short beat of silence where you both just look at each other for a second before actually leaving. This is the most natural sign of all. It comes from the part of us that doesn't want to let go of someone we have bonded with. Your brain doesn't want the good, friends notice the chemistry feeling to stop. If they feel the same way, you will feel it in how they say goodbye. Even if the words are just, "See you later," the way they say it and the way they linger shows that they don't want to leave yet either. Both of you take just a little more time than you need to because your bodies have found something real and they aren't ready to walk away from it. So, what should you do with all of this information? The most important thing is to stop looking for just one big sign. Stop thinking about one single moment over and over, hoping to find an answer. One look or one text doesn't mean everything by itself. What really matters is the pattern. It is when you see many of these signs happening consistently from both sides in many different situations. That is the true footprint of mutual attraction. Once you see that pattern, trust what your body is telling you more than what your brain is trying to argue about. Your body often knows the truth before your mind does. It knows that feeling of nervous calm and that feeling of being at home with someone. And it also knows when you are the only one trying. We have just been taught to doubt ourselves too much. Attraction isn't a huge mystery. It is a natural process that leaves tracks in your body, in theirs, and in the space between you. The best part is that neither of you has to say a single word for it to be known. I really hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this, please show your support by subscribing and helping me reach that goal of 10,000 subscribers. Your subscription truly makes a difference and helps me share more stories and guides like this one. If you want to dive deeper into how to feel more at ease and naturally magnetic, there are resources available to help you on that journey. Keep listening to your heart and paying attention to those small, beautiful patterns that tell the real story.